A simple woman walked into a jewelry store, dressed in a plain beige sweater. The staff ignored her, whispering she couldn't afford anything. But when she revealed who she was, their jaws dropped as she bought millions in jewels right before their eyes. The prestigious Hamilton and Pierce fine jewelry had been a fixture in downtown Seattle for over 60 years. Its polished glass display cases housed some of the most exquisite diamonds and precious gems in the Pacific Northwest. Morning light streamed through the tall windows, making the jewels sparkle with mesmerizing brilliance. Claire Anderson parked her modest sedan a block away from the jewelry store. At 34, she had built green future technologies from a small startup into a company valued at over $2 billion. Yet today, as on most days, she dressed in a simple beige sweater, comfortable slacks, and practical flats. Her dark hair was neatly pulled back from her face, and she wore minimal makeup, just enough to enhance her natural features. Claire had never been one for ostentation. Even after her company's wildly successful IPO 3 years ago, she maintained the same modest lifestyle she'd grown accustomed to during her years as a struggling entrepreneur. Her employees often joked that their CEO could walk down any street in America without being recognized as one of the country's most successful businesswomen. Today's mission was personal, finding the perfect anniversary gift for her parents' 40th wedding anniversary next month. Her mother had always admired fine jewelry, but rarely splurged on herself. Claire smiled, thinking of how her mother had pawned her own engagement ring to help fund Claire's first prototype all those years ago. Now it was time for a proper thank you, something spectacular that would bring tears to her mother's eyes. As Claire approached Hamilton and Pierce, she took a deep breath. Despite her wealth, these ultra-luxury establishments still intimidated her slightly. She pushed open the heavy glass door, setting off a discreet chime that announced her arrival. The interior was even more opulent than it appeared from outside, gleaming mahogany, soft lighting, and the unmistakable hush that came with spaces dedicated to items of extreme value. 4 employees in immaculate black suits stood at various points throughout the showroom, while a distinguished older gentleman in a tailored gray suit observed from behind the main counter. Claire stepped forward, her practical shoes making little sound on the plush carpet. She approached the first display case, admiring a stunning diamond necklace that caught her eye. It was exactly the kind of elegant, timeless piece her mother would treasure. Claire stood quietly by the display case, waiting to be acknowledged. The nearest sales associate, a tall man with carefully styled silver hair and a nameplate reading Victor, glanced at her, then quickly looked away. He straightened his already impeccable tie and moved to assist a couple who had just entered. The woman draped in designer clothing, dripping with jewelry that declared her status before she'd spoken a word. "Good morning, Mrs. Carmichael. How lovely to see you again," Victor gushed, his voice carrying across the quiet showroom. "Is this the lucky gentleman you told me about last week?" Claire observed the interaction, noting how Victor's entire demeanor transformed for these customers. She continued examining the display case, patiently waiting her turn. The diamond necklace truly was exquisite. A delicate platinum chain supporting a 3-carat oval diamond surrounded by smaller stones that caught the light perfectly. After several minutes, Claire looked up, hoping to catch the eye of another associate. A young woman, whose nameplate read Emma, seemed to notice Claire and started moving in her direction, only to be intercepted by the gray-suited manager. "Emma, please assist Mrs. Livingston with the sapphire collection in the private viewing room," he murmured, just loud enough for Claire to overhear. Emma hesitated, glancing toward Claire, but nodded and moved away. Claire shifted to another display case, this one containing elegant watches. Perhaps a matching set for both her parents would be even better than a necklace. As she admired a particularly beautiful women's watch with a mother-of-pearl face, she heard a discreet conversation nearby. "Who's helping the woman in the beige sweater?" It was the manager, speaking to Victor in hushed tones. "I don't think she's being helped yet, Mr. Harrison," Victor replied. "Probably just browsing. Doesn't look like our usual clientele." Mr. Harrison made a small noise of agreement. "Keep an eye on her. These browsers sometimes have sticky fingers. Focus on the Carmichaels. They're looking to spend big on their anniversary." Claire felt her cheeks warm slightly, but kept her expression neutral. This wasn't the first time she'd been judged by her appearance, and it likely wouldn't be the last. Part of her wanted to walk out, to take her business elsewhere. But another part, the part that had faced down skeptical investors and industry giants who underestimated her, decided to stay. "Excuse me," she said, raising her voice slightly as Victor passed by. "I'd like some assistance, please." Victor paused, his professional smile not reaching his eyes. "Of course. One moment, please." He walked directly past her to address an elderly gentleman who had just entered the store. "Mr. Winters, what perfect timing. The pieces you inquired about just arrived this morning." Claire watched as Victor escorted the elderly man to a private showing area. She noted that Mr. Winters was wearing an expensive but dated suit. Clearly, the staff recognized him as a regular customer. After almost 20 minutes of being systematically ignored, Claire decided on a more direct approach. She walked purposefully toward the counter where Mr. Harrison stood, examining some paperwork. "Excuse me," she said politely but firmly. "I've been waiting for assistance for quite some time." Mr. Harrison looked up, his eyes quickly scanning her from head to toe. "I apologize for the wait, miss. All our associates are currently with clients who have appointments. Perhaps you could tell me what you're looking for, and I can determine who might best assist you when they become available." The implication was clear. She wasn't a priority. "I'm interested in purchasing an anniversary gift," Claire replied. "Something significant." "I see." His tone was polite but dismissive. "And what price range were you hoping to explore today?" Before Claire could answer, Emma, the young associate, approached the counter. "Mr. Harrison, Mrs. Livingston has completed her purchase. Would you like me to assist this customer now?" Mr. Harrison hesitated. "Actually, Emma, Victor might need help with the Carmichaels. They're looking at the Legacy collection." Emma glanced at Claire, then back at her manager. "The Carmichaels are with both Victor and Diane already. I'm available to help." A slight frown creased Mr. Harrison's forehead. "Very well," he conceded reluctantly. "But remember, we have the Rothschilds coming in at 11 for the diamond consultation." As Mr. Harrison walked away, Emma turned to Claire with a genuine smile, the first Claire had received since entering the store. "I apologize for the wait. I'm Emma. How can I help you today?" If this story resonates with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We share powerful stories like this one every week, and we'd love to have you join our community. "Thank you, Jessica," Claire said warmly. "I appreciate someone finally taking the time to help me." Jessica's cheeks flushed slightly. "It's my pleasure. What were you looking for today?" "I'm searching for something special for my mother," Claire explained. "It's my parents' 40th anniversary next month, and I'd like to find something truly extraordinary." "That's wonderful," Jessica responded with genuine enthusiasm. "Do you have something specific in mind? A necklace, bracelet, or perhaps a ring?" Claire gestured toward the display case containing the diamond ring she had been examining earlier. "Actually, I was quite drawn to that 3-carat oval diamond ring. Would it be possible to take a closer look?" Jessica's eyes widened slightly. That particular ring carried a price tag of $175,000, but she quickly composed herself. "Of course, let me get that for you." As Jessica reached for her keys to unlock the display case, Mr. Harrington materialized beside them, his voice low but sharp. "Jessica, a word please." He guided the young associate a few steps away, but not far enough to prevent Claire from overhearing their conversation. "What do you think you're doing?" he whispered. "That's one of our premium pieces." "She asked to see it, sir," Jessica replied evenly. "Use your judgment," Mr. Harrington hissed. "We can't have browsers handling our high-value merchandise. Show her something from the entry collection first." Claire pretended to be absorbed in examining another display case, though her back stiffened slightly at the manager's words. Jessica returned, her professional smile back in place, though slightly strained. "I apologize for the delay. Perhaps we could start with some of our newer pieces in this case. They're quite beautiful and more—" She hesitated, clearly uncomfortable with what she'd been instructed to say. "More accessible." Claire met Jessica's eyes directly. "I understand what's happening here, Jessica, and it's not your fault. But I'm specifically interested in that oval diamond ring, and I'd like to see it. If that's a problem, I can certainly take my business elsewhere." Jessica glanced nervously toward Mr. Harrington, who was now helping another client, but keeping a watchful eye on them. She made a decision and reached for her keys again. "No, it's not a problem at all. Let me show you that ring." She opened the display case and carefully removed the ring, placing it on a velvet tray. This is a 3.2 carat oval cut diamond, D color, internally flawless. The setting is platinum with 0.8 carats of smaller diamonds in the halo and band. Claire picked up the ring, examining it closely. The diamond caught the light perfectly, sending prisms of color dancing across the surface of the display case. It's exquisite. The craftsmanship is remarkable. It is one of our finest pieces, Jessica agreed, her initial nervousness giving way to genuine enthusiasm as she spoke about the jewelry. The oval cut maximizes the diamond's apparent size, while the halo setting enhances its brilliance. From across the showroom, Mr. Harrington watched the interaction with growing concern. He excused himself from his current clients and made his way back to Claire and Jessica. "How are we doing over here?" he asked, his voice pleasant but his eyes betraying his apprehension as he watched Claire handling the expensive ring. "Wonderfully," Claire replied. "Jessica has been extremely helpful. This ring is stunning, but I'm wondering if you have anything similar, but perhaps with a bit more presence. My mother has always loved statement pieces." Mr. Harrington's eyebrows rose slightly. "More presence? This is one of our premium offerings, miss. Perhaps I misunderstood your budget constraints." Claire smiled politely. "I don't believe I mentioned any budget constraints, Mr. Harrington." The manager cleared his throat. "Of course not. My apologies. Jessica, perhaps you could show the lady the Marshall collection?" Jessica nodded. "Yes, sir. That's exactly what I was thinking." She turned to Claire. "We have a private viewing room where I can show you some of our more exclusive pieces if you'd like." "That would be perfect," Claire replied. As Jessica led Claire toward the back of the showroom, Mr. Harrington touched the young associate's arm. "A word of caution," he murmured. "The Marshall collection starts at $250,000. Be diplomatic." Jessica nodded and continued leading Claire to an elegantly appointed room at the rear of the store. The private viewing room featured comfortable seating, soft lighting, and a specialized display counter where pieces could be examined in optimal conditions. "Please make yourself comfortable," Jessica said, gesturing to a plush chair. "Would you like some water, or perhaps champagne while we look at the collection?" "Water would be lovely, thank you," Claire replied, settling into the chair. While Jessica stepped out briefly to arrange for refreshments, Claire took out her phone and made a quick call. "David? It's Claire. I'm at Harrington's Fine Jewelry on 5th Avenue. Could you bring the portfolio and meet me here in about 20 minutes? "Yes, that one. Thank you." Jessica returned with a crystal glass of water on a silver tray, followed by another associate carrying a specialized case. "This is the Marshall collection," she explained, as the case was carefully placed on the display counter. "It's our premium line of signature pieces." As Jessica opened the case, Claire couldn't help but gasp slightly. Inside were truly spectacular creations. Diamond necklaces, earrings, and rings that far surpassed even the beautiful ring she had been examining earlier. "These are extraordinary," Claire said softly, her eyes drawn to a particularly stunning necklace featuring a remarkable central diamond with smaller stones cascading like a waterfall. "This is one of my favorites," Jessica admitted, carefully removing the necklace. It's a 5.7 carat pear-shaped diamond centerpiece with over 12 carats of smaller diamonds in the cascade. The piece is named Midnight Falls. Claire stood to examine the necklace more closely. The design is incredible. Whoever created this has a remarkable eye. "Thank you," came a voice from the doorway. An elegant woman in her 60s stood there, her silver hair pulled back in a chic knot. "I designed that piece last year." Jessica immediately straightened. "Mrs. Marshall, I didn't know you were coming in today." "I wasn't planning to," she replied, her eyes on Claire. "Gerald called me, said there was a young woman interested in the collection and wanted me to assess her seriousness." The last word carried a hint of disapproval, directed not at Claire, but at the situation. Claire understood immediately. The store owner or designer had been called in to evaluate whether she was wasting the staff's time. "Mrs. Marshall, this is Ms." Jessica paused, realizing she hadn't asked for Claire's full name. "Claire Anderson," Claire supplied, extending her hand. Mrs. Marshall tilted her head slightly, something flickering in her eyes. "Claire Anderson of Green Future Technologies?" Claire nodded. "Yes, that's me." The atmosphere in the room shifted instantly. Mrs. Marshall's expression transformed from polite assessment to genuine warmth. "My dear, it's an honor to meet you. Your work in sustainable energy storage is revolutionary. My husband and I are investors in several green technology ventures." Jessica looked between the two women, confusion evident on her face. "You know each other?" "Not personally," Mrs. Marshall clarified, "but everyone in the business world knows of Claire Anderson. She's one of the most successful entrepreneurs of her generation." Claire smiled modestly. "That's very kind, though I think the media exaggerates my accomplishments." Mrs. Marshall turned to Jessica. "Jessica, please let Mr. Harrington know that I'll be personally assisting Ms. Anderson today." She turned back to Claire. "That is, if you don't mind?" "Not at all," Claire replied. "Though Jessica has been wonderful, and I'd like her to remain involved as well." "Of course," Mrs. Marshall agreed. "Now, tell me what brings you to Harrington's today. Something for yourself, or a gift perhaps." As Claire explained about her parents' anniversary, Mrs. Marshall listened attentively. Outside the private viewing room, Jessica discreetly informed Mr. Harrington about the developments. The color drained from his face as he realized who their browsing customer really was. "A 40th anniversary is certainly a milestone worth celebrating properly," Mrs. Marshall said warmly. "And given what you've told me about your mother pawning her own ring to help start your company, well, that deserves something truly exceptional." She turned to Jessica. "Please bring in the Celestial collection as well. I think the Polaris suite might be perfect." Jessica nodded eagerly and left the room. Mr. Harrington appeared in the doorway, his demeanor completely transformed. Gone was the dismissive attitude, replaced by an almost desperate eagerness to please. "Ms. Anderson, please accept my sincerest apologies for the wait earlier. Had I known who you were—" "That's precisely the problem, isn't it, Mr. Harrington?" Claire interrupted, her voice calm but firm. "The way someone is treated shouldn't depend on who they are or what they're wearing." Mrs. Marshall raised an eyebrow, looking between Claire and the now uncomfortable manager. "Gerald, is there something I should know?" Before Mr. Harrington could respond, the door to the jewelry store opened and a tall man in an impeccable suit entered carrying a leather portfolio. The staff watched as he scanned the room, spotted Claire through the open door of the private viewing area, and walked directly toward her. "David, perfect timing," Claire said as her financial advisor entered the room. "Mrs. Marshall, this is David Chen, my CFO." Mrs. Marshall greeted David warmly, while Mr. Harrington hovered anxiously at the periphery of the conversation. Jessica returned carrying another case, which she carefully placed on the display counter. "As requested, the Celestial collection," she announced, opening the case to reveal pieces even more spectacular than the previous ones. "Thank you, Jessica," Mrs. Marshall said, carefully lifting out a breathtaking set consisting of a necklace, bracelet, and earrings. The central stones were rare blue diamonds surrounded by white diamonds in a pattern reminiscent of stars in the night sky. "This is the Polaris suite," she explained. "The blue diamonds are among the rarest in the world. Less than 0.1% of all diamonds have this natural blue coloration." Claire's eyes widened. "It's absolutely stunning. My mother loves the night sky. She used to take me stargazing when I was little." David opened his portfolio. "I've brought the documents you requested, Claire." Claire nodded. "Mrs. Marshall, I'd like to purchase the Polaris suite for my mother. And the Midnight Falls necklace we were looking at earlier would be perfect for my sister's birthday next month." Mrs. Marshall smiled. "Excellent choices. Together, those pieces come to approximately $3.7 million. Mr. Harrington's eyes bulged at the figure, and several other staff members who had gathered nearby exchanged shocked glances. "That sounds reasonable," Claire replied calmly. "David, please arrange the transfer." "Certainly," David replied, pulling out some documents. "I've prepared everything based on your instructions. We can complete the transaction immediately." As David worked with Mrs. Marshall on the paperwork, Jessica carefully prepared the selected pieces for packaging. The other staff members, including those who had ignored Claire earlier, watched in stunned silence. "While we're finalizing this," Claire said casually, "I'd also like to look at your men's collection. My father would appreciate a new watch to complement my mother's gift." "Of course," Mrs. Marshall replied. "Gerald, please bring the Geneva timepiece collection." Mr. Harrington hurried away, returning moments later with a display of luxury watches. Claire selected a platinum watch with subtle diamond hour markers, adding another $215,000 to her purchase. I believe that completes my shopping for today, Claire said. Unless... She paused, looking at Jessica. Is there anything you would recommend that I might have overlooked? Jessica, who had been quietly assisting throughout, looked surprised at being consulted. Well, the anniversary is 40 years, which is traditionally represented by ruby. We do have a beautiful ruby and diamond pendant that might complement the Polaris suite. Show me, Claire requested. Jessica brought out the pendant, a gorgeous teardrop ruby surrounded by diamonds. This is one of my favorite pieces, she said, her genuine enthusiasm evident. Then I'll take that as well, Claire decided, for my mother's birthday later this year. David completed the paperwork for the additional items, bringing Claire's total purchase to just over $4.2 million, one of the largest single transactions in the store's history. As the final documents were signed and the pieces carefully packaged in elegant boxes and bags, Mr. Harrington approached Claire once more. Ms. Anderson, again, I cannot express how sorry I am for the misunderstanding earlier. If there's anything we can do to make it up to you... Actually, there is, Claire said, turning to face him directly. Jessica has been exceptional today. Her knowledge and passion for the jewelry is evident, and she treated me with respect from the beginning, unlike some of your other staff. I'd like to ensure she receives full commission for this sale. 1 week later, Claire returned to Harrington's fine jewelry. This time, the door had barely closed behind her before Mr. Harrington himself rushed forward to greet her. Ms. Anderson, what a pleasure to see you again. How may we assist you today? Actually, I'm here to see Jessica, Claire replied calmly. Of course. Jessica is with a client at the moment, but I'll let her know you're here immediately. He gestured to another associate. Please offer Ms. Anderson refreshments in our premium client lounge. Claire suppressed a smile at the dramatic change in treatment. That won't be necessary. I'm happy to wait here. A few minutes later, Jessica appeared, looking genuinely pleased to see Claire. Ms. Anderson, what a surprise. How are you? I'm well, thank you. Do you have a moment to talk? Of course, Jessica replied. They moved to a quiet corner of the showroom. From her handbag, Claire withdrew an envelope and handed it to Jessica. What's this? Jessica asked, confused. Open it, Claire encouraged. Inside was a letter offering Jessica a position as the jewelry acquisitions specialist for the Claire Anderson Foundation, a charitable organization Claire had established to support young entrepreneurs from disadvantaged backgrounds. The salary was triple what Jessica currently earned. I don't understand, Jessica stammered. My foundation hosts several major fundraising events each year, Claire explained. We auction unique jewelry pieces to raise money for grants and scholarships. We need someone with your knowledge and integrity to curate these collections. She paused. Plus, I was impressed by how you treated me regardless of how I was dressed. That kind of character is rare. Jessica's eyes filled with tears. I don't know what to say. Say you'll consider it, Claire smiled. You have my number in the letter. Think about it and let me know. As Claire turned to leave, she found Mr. Harrington hovering nearby, clearly having overheard the conversation. Ms. Anderson, he began nervously, I hope our store hasn't given you reason to, poach our staff. Claire regarded him coolly. Mr. Harrington, in business and in life, we all make choices about how we treat people. Those choices have consequences, sometimes immediate, sometimes delayed, but always inevitable. She glanced around the showroom. Your store is beautiful, your inventory exceptional, but your most valuable asset, the one that determined whether I spent my millions here or elsewhere, was the simple human decency shown by Jessica. Mr. Harrington's face flushed. We've implemented new training since your visit. I can assure you... I'm glad to hear it, Claire interrupted. Perhaps the most important lesson isn't about losing sales, but about treating every person who walks through your door with respect, regardless of what they're wearing or how much you think they can spend. 2 weeks later, Jessica accepted Claire's offer. The story of the billionaire in the beige sweater became legendary at Harrington's, where new employees were now trained using Claire's visit as a case study in why appearances can be deceiving. As for Claire's parents, they were overwhelmed by their daughter's generous gifts. Her mother cried when she saw the stunning Polaris suite, insisting it was too extravagant. But Claire simply smiled and fastened the necklace around her mother's neck. Nothing is too extravagant for the woman who believed in me when no one else did, she said softly. Some investments are worth every penny. If you enjoyed this story about the dangers of judging others by their appearance, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to share this video with someone who might need this important reminder.